All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we are going to begin with our state all-purpose misdemeanor calendar. These are a list of misdemeanor criminal cases in which individuals have been recently arrested, and their cases have now been formally accused. We are going to find out the status of their cases today. And so when I call your case, please remember, as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say during the course of this virtual proceedings, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. For those in courtroom 2 and in AC, please remember when we call your case, your attorney will advise as to you plan to proceed with your case, whether you plea or a plea of guilty or no contest in order to accept the state's recommendation with regards to a particular sentence, or whether you're going to plead not guilty and have your case reset for trial. Other matters that we'll be addressing this morning is possibly some bond modifications, as well as a couple of bench warrants. So let's begin with courtroom 2. Mr. Haddad, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
And yes, sir, who would you like to begin with?
We can start with position number 23, Your Honor, Mr. Mason.
Mason, okay. And that's going to be a negotiated plea.
That is correct, Judge.
Mr. Mason, if you please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear the information you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
This is State versus Gregory Mason, 24 CR 6689G, charged with 2 counts of battery. And Ms. Falk, good morning. What is the recommendation for Mr. Mason?
Good morning, Your Honor. Just a moment. My apologies. I was responding to an email. The state's recommendation is count 1, 12 months served 90 days, credit for time served 17 days. That's from September 22nd, 2024 until today. Balance probated, no further contact with Tom Lee Brown. Stay away from 939 Washington Place in Atlanta. 12 weeks of anger management, no firearms. Count 2 will merge with count 1. We have spoken with the victim, Tom Lee Brown. He stated he will not be on Zoom, but I would like to sound for him out of an abundance of caution, and he does agree with this plea offer. We would like to sound for Mr. Tom Lee Brown at this time, and we do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
Judge, we stipulate for purposes of the plea.
I have an iPhone, a B, a couple of phones. No, Mr. Brown. Okay.
Your Honor, my only request is for the court, assuming the court accepts the negotiated plea, to consider waiving the first 2 months of probation fees, Judge.
Well, let me ask a couple of questions. He's going to be spending additional time at the jail. So he's going to be spending how much more time? Looks like more than 20 days.
The 28 days, yes, Judge.
28 additional days. And does he have any other holds in other jurisdictions?
Your Honor, he has a probation hearing tomorrow with Judge Morrison. I'll be handling in that case tomorrow, Judge.
All right. So that's the only other hold he has?
As far as I'm aware of, yes, Judge.
All right, I'll waive the first 2 months of probation fees once he starts reporting to probation on these particular cases. Mr. Mason, have you consumed any alcohol or medicine?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in this case from September 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with their legal services?
Yes, ma'am. That's fair.
And are you entering a plea to 1 count of battery freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
With the understanding that you would have to waive your right to a trial to be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Good.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of battery?
Guilty.
The sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 90 days, credit for time served 17 days. As your attorneys indicated, you will have almost a month left to serve at the jail, about 28 days. Once you're released, and providing that you don't have any other holds, then you'll be required to report to probation, which will be Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday. So the first available Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, immediately following your release. Probation's located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While you're on probation, you are to have no contact with Mr. Brown. Stay away from the Washington place location. Was there anything else, Ms. Falk? I think that was it, right?
I believe so. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the location. We also asked for 12 weeks anger management.
Oh, that's right. That's why I forgot to write down. 12 weeks of anger management. All right, Mr. Mason, I'm going to waive your probation fees for the first 2 months. And then after that, you would need to start paying probation fee from your 3rd month onwards. I would recommend that you enroll in the 12 weeks of anger management classes as soon as you can, but no later than 6 months from the time you start probation. And you need to finish all 12 weeks of those classes, and that's about 4 months long. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thorough.
See you tomorrow.
Thorough.
And Your Honor, on position 11,
Okay,
I know that the announcement for that was a bond hearing. The state is revoking the recommendation. We have some restitution that is outstanding that we had not added to the plea negotiation. So just out of an abundance of caution, I wanted to let the court and the public defender's office know.
all right, 11 and 12, the offer has been revoked, and we'll just address bond for Mr.
Judge, if we may revisit this issue, I need to speak to him. Yesterday, when I saw him at the jail late last night, Judge, I didn't have all the information at the time. And afterwards, I did find out a little bit more. So I needed to speak to him anyway. He had indicated that he was inclined on taking the plea, but we're talking about bond at the same time. But if I can talk to him, he's on the floor, so I'd have to wait until we get him on. But Ms. Falk, just keep that open if you don't
Whenever
mind.
he appears, we'll put you into a breakout. All right, AC, do we have, please?
Good morning, Judge Law. This is going to be positions 15 and 16, Jones.
Okay,
And Supervisor Haddad, I'll send you the restitution amount that the victim is asking for, just so you can incorporate that in any plea negotiation.
Thank you.
Mr. Haddad, do you still need to speak to Cecily Jones?
I do, Judge. I was unable to speak to her yesterday, Judge, so.
All right, is there anyone else I can address in court 2 with Mr. White, or is that the other APD in there, Mr. White?
Yes.
Or I have a couple of private attorneys on Zoom, Ms. Shahimi and is there an attorney, Philip Kim? Mr. Haddad, if you want to get on a device, we can put you into a breakout with ACDC.
Unfortunately, the internet is not working on my computer either, so I'm gonna use the phone.
All right, Francois, can you call down to courtroom 2 so Mr. Haddad may speak to his client? Thank you. Okay, courtroom 2, I'm at your mercy. Whatever you have.
If we could do Miss Mai, Mr. Mai Olaloya.
It's the big M, Judge, on your screen. He's an attorney.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Olayoye, do we just butcher your name?
Partly, Your Honor.
All right.
And that is position number 45 through 51, Mr. Walker.
All right.
Yes,
So this is my day.
I ain't even talk to him yet.
Mr. Olaloye, have you spoken to Harold Walker?
I have not, Your Honor. I did not represent him on this new case up until, I guess, now, because I represent him on all his other cases. And last time we were in court, we were essentially going to, at that juncture, set it for trial. The offer at that time was declined, but given he's picked up a new case, I've not spoken to him since he's picked up this new case, Your Honor. So I guess if the court would want me, give me an opportunity to speak to him, I can do that, and then we can proceed from, or if the state has a different position.
Well, just to let Mr. Olaloye, I apologize. No,
No,
positions 46, 48, and 50 have all been transferred to the DA's office.
Ah.
Because of the previous family violence battery conviction, they are all felonies. And so that only leaves 47, 49, and 51. And the state did send a global recommendation on that. I will forward that
Right.
recommendation to you. In case
47, 49, and 51. Okay, yes. Wow, okay.
So I just
Yeah, so
wanted to make the court aware, we did submit the orders for the court signature to Ms. Champion yesterday.
So, Mr. Olaloye, your client has the following charges on position 45, simple battery family violence, 23 CR 6584Y. Reckless conduct, accusation 23 CR 7964Y. Then one more simple battery family violence from 24 CR 4176Y. Well,
I believe that was the one, I think that's the one that state had indicated was also transferred to Superior Court. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Falk.
46, yes.
Is position 49 also going to Superior Court?
No, Your Honor, because that's simple battery family violence. Only the family violence batteries, which is 46, 48, and 50, have been transferred.
And is his middle name Levi?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, so he's got 1, 2, 3 counts of simple battery and 1 count of reckless conduct, still with the state court. Okay? What would
Yes,
you
Your
like to do, Mr. Olaloye? We have him in courtroom 2 right now. I mean,
If I can have an opportunity to speak to him, I do not believe we'll resolve it today, given the state is asking for quite some time, and even at the last juncture, at the last court hearing, the offer I believe was similar to what the state has just relayed to me, and at that time it was rejected. So if I can have another opportunity just to speak with him, Your Honor.
Well, you certainly. I'm right now going to reset the cases, 4 cases, to next Thursday, which is going to be October 15th. Next Tuesday, excuse me.
Next Tuesday. Brief indulgence, Your Honor, if I may. Okay, Your Honor, I would like the court to know I will be in Coweta County in the morning, Superior Court. That's the only thing I have. It is a pretrial matter, so I don't believe it's something that will last all day, but I just wanted to let the court aware. I'll file the conflict if the court still wants it to be, if the court still wants that court date to be
I can do it the
That's
15th or the 17th.
Can we do the 15th since instead the 15th works better, Your Honor?
15 works better? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll
So-
make it work.
Out of those 4 cases, they're going to be reset to October 15th, and then the 3 other cases are going to be transferred to the DA's office. You can stay on the Zoom. I'm not sure how I can accommodate you in a breakout session right now. So if you can call into courtroom 2, because I've got,
Your Honor, he could come to the jail. If we resetting
yeah,
this case, he could come to the jail and see his client because we still utilizing both phones.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll go see him, Your Honor.
okay, all right.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Walker, your attorney, Mr. Olaloye, is going to come and have a chat with you about your cases in state court. As you've just heard, 3 of your cases are going to be transferred to the Superior Court as felony charges. And those would be the charges for battery family violence. Your attorney, please remember, you do not speak about your cases in open court. and take the time to speak with your attorney and get the status of your cases. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my matter. May I be excused?
Yes, before you leave, Ms. McLeod, you were originally listed as counsel of record for Harold Walker, but that's Mr. Olaloye's case now. Is that your understanding? Ms. Maureen McLeod? I just wanted to make sure that she's connected to audio.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. McLeod. We are addressing Harold Walker. He's got several cases on the calendar. You were originally listed as counsel of record, but we have Mr. Mide Olaloye.
That is correct, Your Honor. He would be representing Mr. Walker on all of his cases.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Olaloye, you have a great day. Thank you.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Haddad, have you spoken to your client at ACDC?
Yes, on position 15, 16, 17.
Switch back. I guess they want to go back to the, come on, Jones.
On Cicely Jones says we're gonna waive arraignment and our plea of not guilty, and I'll file the appropriate paperwork later today.
This is position 15, Jones,
Yes,
15 and 16.
15, Cecily Jones. Ms. Jones, your attorney is filing a not guilty plea on your behalf.
Okay.
Waive arraignment, and your cases are going to be further noticed for trial. Thank you.
you Judge.
We can go to position number 21, Mr.
You're done.
Langford.
Oh, okay. And then you're gonna go next, okay? After they get done.
21. And this is
Which one now? 51?
21. This is Ms. McLeod's case.
21? Okay. This is State versus Travis Langford, accused of theft by taking from June 4th, 2024, case 24 CR 6687F. Mr. Langford, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Oh, sorry, Ms. McLeod. Yes, Ms. McLeod, how are we proceeding?
This is going to be a negotiated plea today, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Langford, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months served, 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. That's going to be from September 23rd, 2024 to today. Anti-theft course, no further contact with Roderick or Broderick Wimby or their family. Stay away from 310 Skipper Place Northwest in Atlanta, Georgia, and 30 hours of community service. We did have an opportunity to speak with one of the Mr. Wimbys, and he did state that they do not want any contact with this defendant.
All right, thank you.
And we would like to sound for Mr. Broderick and Roderick Wimby, and we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea.
We do so stipulate.
Anyone from the Wimby family on Zoom? This would be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Langford, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
Well,
And is that a no?
no.
Okay. And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering a plea to this charge freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to enter such a plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get the opportunity to come back to a courtroom to face your accuser, challenge the evidence that will be brought against you, present your own defenses if you choose to do so, and have the state prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of theft by taking?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. You'll report to, if you have no other holds or any other jurisdiction, you have to report to probation this Thursday, which is going to be the 10th of October, and you report at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While on probation, you will complete an anti-theft class, and you must enroll in that class within 45 days of being released. You are to have no contact with the Wimby family and stay away from their location at 310, I can't remember what I wrote now. Was it Tarpon Place?
Your Honor, it was
Skipper Place, sorry.
three. Right.
My
Yes.
handwriting, sorry. It's 310 Skipper Place in Northwest Atlanta. And you're also to complete, this was very odd, 38 hours. Was that correct, Ms. Paul?
No, it was 30 hours.
30 hours, okay.
Yes.
30 hours of community service hours, and so which means that you are to do voluntary non-work at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. So I recommend you do a minimum of 5 hours per month and 5 hours every month thereafter. Thank you.
And Your Honor, can his probation go non-reporting once he completes all the terms?
I don't know what his priors are, Ms. Falk. Do you have a recommendation?
Just a moment, Your Honor. My apologies. I was looking at another case for another defense attorney. Let me just take a look at the defendant's history and I can quickly answer that.
Was allegedly taking a Google Nest security camera from the home.
Oh, it's not the current offense that concerns me. It's more his criminal history in general. Let's see. It looks like we are on, this is cycle number. So he has 3 cycles outside of the state and we're on cycle 38. So that's a no for me. I don't agree to non-reporting.
I agree, Ms. McLeod. With that many cycles, I think he needs to be on probation just to make sure that he doesn't get into trouble.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Langford, you are required to report to probation every month. So please be mindful of that. Thank you.
Number 19, Kemp.
Who represents Law Kemp or Ms. McLeod? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, that is my client as well.
This is State versus Lark Kemp, 24 CR 901J, accused of battery, family violence, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Ms. Kemp, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Ms. McLeod. Any priors, please? I'm sorry, I'm not doing first appearance. We are doing negotiation. So, Ms. Kemp, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. On family violence battery, count 1, 12 months, serve 186 days in jail. Credit for time served 93 days in jail. That's from 2/25 to 2/29 of 2024 and July 13th of 2024 until today. Balance probated, no further violent contact with Alexis Smith, family violence intervention program, and no firearms. On count 2, the willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, 12 months concurrent with count 1, $300 fine, and 40 hours of community service. We did have an opportunity to speak with the victim and she stated she does want to continue contact. She is not in fear of the defendant. And for that reason, the state recommended no further violent contact. We would like to sound for Alexis Smith and do ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
We do stipulate.
Alexis Smith, are you on Zoom? No? All right.
Might not be, Your Honor, but I have also spoken with her and she has indicated that she wants contact with my client.
All right. Ms. Kemp has other holds?
Yes, Your Honor.
2 other holds.
There's a hold for Clayton County, that's my understanding.
901J. Then we have 23 CR 004721J. Are these cases on the calendar? No.
And Your Honor, I apologize. I wasn't aware there was a second open case.
She's got a pretrial bond in the current case. She's got charged with battery family violence from July 31st, 2023. That's an open case. Then Ms. McLeod, with these open cases and battery family violence, why are we doing a plea right now? Why are we not working on a negotiated plea? I mean, this
It is a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
with the consideration of the other cases, 004670. Did your client tell you she's got a theft by mislaid property from July 12th of this year? She got a signature bond through the jail.
I was not aware of that, Your Honor.
Right.
I'm not going to accept this plea unless we get all these cases resolved. I'll be glad if Ms. Falk has a global offer, or we can take all these cases to trial with Judge Besson.
So, Your Honor, what the state would recommend is, it appears there are 3 open cases. The state was not aware of 2 of them. So what I would recommend is that we reset to October 10th, if that works for Ms. McLeod, and I can make a global recommendation.
Okay, well, I agree to that since that's 2 days from today. Yes.
Okay, October 10th it is.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. McLeod, thank you.
You're welcome.
Lord Kemp, you have a total of 3 current open cases with the State Court of Fulton County. If I take this plea today, I don't know when I'm going to put you on probation because of your 2 other open cases. So your attorney will talk to you and we'll see you on Thursday. Today's Tuesday.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you. Who's next, courtroom 2?
Position number 32 to 35, Mr. Dustin Sis. Come sit up here.
Dustin Sisk. Mr. White, yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is going to be a negotiated plea on Mr.
It is.
Sisk. All right. Mr. Sisk, you've got a couple of, well, more than a couple. 24 CR 1841A accused of criminal trespass. 24 CR 1842A accused of criminal trespass also. First one's from March 2024, the second one's from April 2024. Then you've got 2 bench warrants, 24 FTA 1432 and 1433 from August of this year. You've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. White. We are going to do a negotiated plea. May I place you under oath? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. On count 1 of criminal trespass, state's recommendation is 12 months served, 36 days, credit for time served 18 days. That's from April 11th to April 13th of 2024 and September 24th of 2024 to today. Balance suspended, stay away from 1136 Austin Avenue, Northeast in Atlanta. The second case of criminal trespass is 12 months served, 36 days, credit for time served 18 days. That is the same date range, balance suspended, no further contact with Scott Pendergrast. Stay away from 1099 Euclid Avenue, Northeast in Atlanta. We did have contact with Mr. Pendergrast, who I believe will be on the Zoom today, and we would like the sound for him. He does agree with this plea offer, and he has requested that 2 additional stay away addresses be added where the defendant has previously trespassed on his property. That is 448 East Moreland Avenue and 1154 Euclid Avenue. We would like to sound for Mr. Pendergrast at this time and do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. I know this is an alteration of the plea, adding 2 more stay away addresses. And so the state will ask the defense if they are agreeable to stipulating to that additional condition.
We can accept the plea with the additional conditions, Judge, and we do stipulate.
Mr. Pendergrast, if you'd like to contribute to the proceedings, did you want to say anything?
Yes, Your Honor. I am grateful for the stay away orders. I don't know Mr. Sisk well. I don't know why he insisted on coming onto my properties, threatening the employees, threatening the customers, refusing to leave. I would just, when he's released, I would like to not see him again on or near my properties that I manage in the Little Five Points Business District.
Are these rental properties?
Yeah, they're commercial rental properties. I'm the landlord. I have a number of tenants.
So these are businesses, not residential properties.
Yes, Variety Playhouse, a record store, pizza shop, pharmacy, number of retail businesses.
Okay. And of course, what's going to happen is that if he accepts the plea, then he's not required to be on probation. But if he wanders around to these 4 locations, we start from scratch. Police needs to be called and he would be arrested again and so forth. So do you understand the process, Mr. Pendergrast?
Yes, I will call the police if he comes back onto my properties. And I hope Mr. Sisk can find another part of the world to plague.
All right, sir. Thank you. Mr. Sisk, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's been going on in these 4 cases before you?
Yeah.
All right. Folks who are not involved in this case, this person in a red shirt and this person in an orange shirt, switch off your video. Switch off your video. Thank you. And Mr. Sisk, are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yeah.
And are you prepared to enter a plea in 2 of these cases freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yeah.
Has your attorney explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial? You will not get a chance to go back to court to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that will be presented against you, have your attorney help you and present your arguments and defenses, and also have the prosecutor carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yeah.
How do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass from March 19th of 2024 and 1 count of criminal trespass from April 11th, 2024?
Guilty.
Your sentence is for both charges, going to be 12 months to serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance suspended. So hopefully you can remember all these addresses, Mr. Sisk. You need to stay away from 1136 Austin Avenue in Northeast Atlanta. You need to stay away from 1099 Euclid Avenue in Atlanta, 1154 Euclid Avenue in Atlanta, and 448 in East Moreland Place in Atlanta. If you are seen anywhere near these retail places, if you are seen within 200 yards of any of these 4 locations, which is, they're all businesses, you could be arrested and brought back to jail, and we get to do this all over again. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
So you've just heard from the owners of these businesses. They don't want you anywhere near there. Do you have any question about this stay away?
No.
All right, as long as you are clear. Thank you, Mr. Sisk, and the bench warrants are going to be not crossed. Thank you, Mr. Pendergrast. You're free to go.
Your Honor.
Number 54 and 55, Watson.
Like no probation or anything.
Right. Still, yes.
Thorough,
I think you said yesterday.
thorough, sir. Mr. Sisk.
Your Honor, just to be clear on this case, Ms. Falk, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to email you, but the non-negotiated part is I'm asking to waive the fine on count 3, the $265, and the other issue I have to present judge as to why it's non-negotiated. I think the state is requesting 90 days. I'm requesting 70 days, which is time served.
For which one? The DUI?
Yes, Judge, and this is on position 54 and 55, Ms. Watson.
Yeah. Well, Darnisha Watson, you've been accused of 3 charges stemming from a driving incident under accusation 23 CR 008005E. You are accused of driving under the influence of alcohol, driving while license suspended or revoked, and failure to use the turn signal from December 14th, 2023. You have a bench warrant for failure to appear in court on August 16th, 2024, under 24 FTA 1348. You've been advised of your rights, and Mr. Haddad is your attorney. May I place you under oath, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. This is going to be a non-negotiated plea. That means the prosecutor is going to ask for a particular type of sentence, and your attorney is going to ask for a modification, and I'll make a decision as to which option I will select, keeping in mind that I have a right to reject either recommendation and have the case scheduled for trial. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened on Thursday, December 14th, 2023. Defendant was traveling at a high rate of speed westbound on MLK Junior Drive, turned right, failed to use the turn signal. The officer then activated his emergency lights. She provided her ID card. She openly admitted to having an alcoholic beverage mixing brown and light liquor while she was in physical control of the vehicle. She also had 3 previous DUI violations. So one of those she had entered a plea of guilty to. The other DUI violation she is not. So her first DUI conviction was July 18th of 2023 for DUI in Norcross Municipal Court. She received 12 months probation, $800 fine, and 40 hours community service. She was arrested in December of 2022 for DUI in Douglas County. That is not showing a disposition as of today's date. And then this incident in Fulton County, she was arrested for DUI on 12/14/2023. So based on the fact that she has a previous DUI conviction, a previous open DUI, and then this new DUI, to which she is entering a plea, the state would ask for the state's recommendation of 12 months served 90 days, credit for time served 35 days from June 12th, 2024 to June 13th, 2024, and September 6th to today. Balance probated ADET, DUI risk reduction, victim impact panel, $600 fine and 240 hours community service. Count 2, the license suspended or revoked, 12 months concurrent with count 1 with a $500 fine. And count 3, 12 months concurrent with count 1 and a $265 fine for failure to use turn signal. I will just say that she does have an active suspension for the DUI violation. It looks like in November 20th of 2022. That's all for the state.
I'm so sorry, Ms. Falk, I was trying to keep up with your recommendation.
Apologies, Your Honor.
I don't see it on the.
It should be on the calendar that I sent, but I can send it in the chat as well.
Could you please?
Absolutely.
So this was 12 months on the DUI to serve 60 days? Repeat that.
90 days, Your Honor.
Days? Credit for time served? You have to give it. I can't.
She has served 35 days at this point, Your Honor.
And then you're asking for the whole shebang again, alcohol and drug evaluation, risk reduction, 40 hours community service,
240 hours of community service and a $600 fine, Your Honor.
$600 fine.
And then on count 2, a $500 fine, which is statutory. Count 3, a $265 fine, which is part of the traffic violations
Okay.
code fines.
And null pros the bench warrant.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I think the recommendations I have from you don't align with the printed calendar that I have from Mr. Jordan, so that's where the confusion is. But that's it on there. Mr. Haddad?
Thank you, Judge.
These are rapido DUI cases back to back. What's the status of the one from December 2020?
Your Honor, I could not find any information. I do not know the status, Judge. All I know, obviously, is what Ms. Falk mentioned, that my client has one prior conviction that happened close in time to this arrest as well. Although I don't know when she actually entered a plea. I know the arrest was in that same year. In any event, Judge, my client is 33 years of age. She reports to me that she helps take care of her sister and nephew. Apparently her sister has a disability. She was employed as an ambassador, a city of Decatur, Judge. She has a local address here in Atlanta. She expects to have her work still available, Judge. I was simply asking the court, as far as count 3, to waive that fine of $265. That's part of the non-negotiated argument. And the other, Judge, in light of the fact that she spent 35 days in custody, I'm simply requesting a time served sentence. In other words, a 70-day sentence as opposed to the 90-day. That would be the request on behalf of Ms. Watson. And in light of all the fines that, of course, she has to pay on the DUI and the driving license, if the court would consider waiving the first 2 months of probation fee, Judge.
Is she on probation right now from her July 18th, 2023 case?
Your Honor, when I looked on the computer, she did not. I do not believe she had any holds, Judge. That's the only thing I can confirm one way or another. But I've not reached out to.
Well, what did the fine tell you? Is she on probation or she's not on probation? I'm trying to figure out how she did on probation.
Well, she indicates she's not, Judge, but at the same time, I mean, that's coming from my client. I normally don't repeat. I mean,
Mr. Haddad, this is common sense. This is pure common sense.
But she's not. She says she is not. So
When was she convicted?
She's got one DUI conviction. She's had a December 2022 arrest. She's had a July 18, 2023 arrest. She must have taken a plea in one of those or found guilty.
And she has
got a DUI conviction.
And she has, and she reports to me that she's no longer on probation. That's all I can relate to the court.
So then on December of 2023, she's arrested for driving while license suspended or revoked, which I can only assume is stemming from her DUI conviction.
Presumably, yes, sir.
Okay, so she doesn't do well on probation.
Okay.
Ms. Watson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to waive your right to remain silent, but I'm sure your attorney doesn't want you to say anything. My question is whether I find this is a proper recommendation given your multiple DUI arrests in a very, very short time period. 3 DUI arrests in less than 13 months is nothing to sneeze at. So big concern right here. Given these multiple DUI arrests, and given the fact that one of them involved getting arrested while her driver's license was already suspended or revoked, which I can only assume stemmed from a DUI conviction, I'm going to go with the state's recommendation with the addition that she is not allowed to operate any motor vehicle unless she's got an interlock ignition device, and the DUI sentences are going to be consecutive, not concurrent. I will waive the fine for the failure to use the turn signal, but she'll be on probation for 2 years.
Your Honor, just to be clear, when the court says consecutive, you're talking about the driving license suspended is consecutive to the DUI, is that correct?
Correct. And the failure to use turn signal is going to be concurrent to count 1.
Ms. Watson, do you need to talk on the phone, or you know what you want to do?
I know what I wanna do.
Would you like to accept this recommendation, or would you like to enter a not guilty plea and schedule the case for trial?
I'll go with what my attorney wants to do.
Oh, well, that's we're not playing ping pong over here, Ms. Watson. Mr.
I'll-
Nadat, I think you need to talk to her so you can explain to her her options.
That's
Give her
fine.
back and maybe get some idea of what's going on in the other two DUI cases.
If ACDC can call the jail courtroom too, I'll be happy to talk to her.
All right. Would you like to talk today, or shall I reset it for another day?
I'd rather just do it right now, Judge, if at all.
All right. And I'll take another case in courtroom 2.
We can go to position number 36 through 39, Mr. Slade.
This is State versus Anthony Slade. Mr. Slade has got 36, 37, 4 matters on our calendar today, 2 of which include a bench warrant. Criminal trespass under accusation 23 CR 5854C from September of 2023. And on position 39, it's 23 CR 5786C, possession and use of drug-related object, and criminal trespass also from September 26, 2023. He's got 2 bench warrants, 24 FTA 1470 and 1471 from August 16th, 2024. Mr. Slade, you've been advised of your right. Your attorney is Mr. White, and this is going to be a plea, Mr. White?
Yes, Judge, still please.
Slade, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for the trespass?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on 39 is possession of drug-related objects, 12 months served, 26 days. Credit for time served, 13 days from September 27th, 2023 and September 26, 2024 until today. Balance probated, stay away from all Georgia Tech property, as well as an ADET. Count 2, we are recommending a 12-month sentence concurrent with count 1. We are also agreeing to a null pros on position 38, which is the failure to appear.
Okay.
And as
go ahead.
Oh, position 36 would be 12 months with 26 days to serve, credit for time served, 13 days balance suspended, stay away from all Georgia Tech property, and that's going to run concurrent with the 23-0CR005786C case. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue factual basis and ID for the purposes of the plea. That's all for the state.
Mr. White?
Yes, Judge.
Go ahead.
Say, we do stipulate for the purposes of the plea. We would just ask that you waive a couple of months of probation fees so that he can take the ADET not free.
This is an ADET only, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. I'll waive the first 2 months once he starts reporting to probation. He doesn't have any holds, correct?
Not that we are aware of, Judge.
Get him. Get him out of here. He's spitting.
Everything okay?
Come on.
We're good, y'all. You can put someone.
Come on. You want to take him? Yeah, take him out. Come on.
You good to go, Mr. White?
Yes, Judge, we're fine.
Okay. Mr. Slade, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you enter a plea of guilty to these two charges of criminal trespass and possession, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury? You will not be going back to court to face your accuser, challenge evidence that could be brought before you, present your own arguments and defenses, and have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at Georgia Tech on September 29, 2023?
Guilty.
How do you plead to possession and use of drug-related objects and criminal trespass at Georgia Tech on September 26, 2023?
Guilty.
For position 39, excuse me, the possession and use of drug-related object is 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days. Balance probated. You will report to probation this Thursday, October 10th, before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. Your first 2 months of probation fees are going to be waived. While you're on probation, you have to complete an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. You're also to stay away from all Georgia Tech property. You're not allowed within 200 yards of any property that belongs to the Georgia Tech University. Count 2, criminal trespass, is going to be 12 months concurrent with count 1. With regards to the criminal trespass on September 29th, that's going to be 12 months to serve 26 days, credit 13 days, balance suspended. Again, stay away from all Georgia Tech property. The 2 bench warrants will be null-prossed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Going back to position 54 and 55, Watson.
Ms. Watson is going to enter a guilty plea, Judge.
All right, so she's going to enter a guilty plea.
That is correct, Judge.
All right. Ms. Watson and Mr. Haddad, do you so stipulate to the factual basis to ID and venue?
We do.
All right. Ms. Watson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
Have you understood what's been going on in your cases?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
Yes.
Are you entering a plea guilty to these charges freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes.
Has it been explained to you that if you decide to enter such a plea, your license will be suspended for up to 12 months?
Yes.
And that you won't be eligible for reinstatement until the 12 months have lapsed?
Yes.
And also with regards to this plea, you would have to give up, if you enter such a plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not be able to go back to court. You will not be able to have a trial in front of a judge or jury, confront the witnesses and your accusers, challenge the evidence that we brought before you, have the assistance of counsel to present your arguments and defenses, and have the prosecutor carry his burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol?
Guilty.
How do you plead to 1 count of driving while license suspended or revoked?
Guilty.
And 1 count of failure to use turn signal? How do you plead to the failure to use a turn signal? Ms. Watson, did their screen freeze?
It appears to be, Judge.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ms. Watson, from our side, it appears that your Zoom panel has frozen, so we're waiting for it to get reactivated. Francois, if you can hear me? All righty, let's go on to another case in courtroom 2 while we wait for Ms. Watson.
Your Honor, I had a real quick announcement on Darius White, which is position 56 and 57.
Okay,
So I was just informed that Mr. White actually has a second DUI case that was just sent over from municipal court. And I know Your Honor likes to handle all cases at the same time wherever possible. So if we can ask to reset that until October 10th, which is 2 days from now, so that it can make a global recommendation.
Mr. Tom White?
Your Honor,
That's Ms. Bronstein's case, Your Honor.
Oh, Ms. Bronstein, I'm sorry, it was listed as Mr. White. I thought I saw Ms. Emily Bronstein on the Zoom earlier.
Oh, I thought she was still on here. I apologize.
That's okay.
Judge, Ms. Bronson is with our office.
Yes,
But I
Are you
think,
representing Darius White, Mr. White?
yes, Judge.
All right, you heard the announcement. Do you have a response?
I do. He has already been reset because he's in court downtown, Judge. So we have no problem with bringing him back on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Position 56 and 57 are reset to October 10th. And once you get that accusation number, please add that to the calendar. I think it's going to be Miss Champion if you can have that new accusation number. Okay, thank you. ACDC is still MIA, so is there another case we can address in courtroom 2?
We can go to position number 25 and 26, Mr. McReynolds.
This is State versus Michael McReynolds.
Stated on ACDC power out, so they can.
Case number 20 CR 3485G. Mr. McReynolds has been accused of 2 counts of battery, family violence, and simple assault, family violence. The second case is a bench warrant from June 7th of this year, 24 FTA 1478. Mr. McReynolds, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. May I place you under oath for purposes of this plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, power went out. Okay. Oops. All right. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Mr. McReynolds?
And Your Honor, is this a non-negotiated plea or negotiated plea?
I've got it listed as a plea.
negotiate, please.
Yeah.
Okay, just double checking. Thank you. State's recommendation is on count 1, 12 months served, 90 days, credit for time served, 41 days, balance probated with no further contact with Katie Aycock. Stay away from 830 Crest Street in Atlanta, FVIP and no firearms. Count 2 will merge with count 1. Count 3 will be 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. We would like to sound from Ms. Katie Aycock, and we do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
We so stipulate.
All right. Mr. McReynolds, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to enter such a plea to the 2 charges, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your own defenses and arguments, and have your attorney, and have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of battery, family violence?
Guilty.
Repeat.
Guilty.
How do you plead? And this count 2, battery, family violence, will merge into count 1. How do you
Yep.
plead to simple assault, family violence?
Guilty.
With regards to the simple assault, that's going to be 12 months to serve 90 days, credit for time served 14 days. And that's going to be concurrent with count 1. With regard to the battery family violence, it's going to be 12 months to serve 90 days. Credit for time served 41 days. So he has about what, 2-3 more days of the jail, Mr. Haddad?
4 days, Judge.
4 more days? Okay. And then after the serving the additional 4 days, Mr. McReynolds, you will then be released, but you must report to probation next Tuesday. And the date for next Tuesday is going to be, it's going to be the 15th, October 15th. And you will report to 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta to start your probation. While you're on probation, you're to have no contact with Katie Acock and stay away from the incident location. Was there an FBIT requirement?
There was, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
And also you're to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. And this is a 26-week program, and you will be required to attend all the classes at your expense. I'll require you to enroll in this program within 60 days of being released. So by your 3rd probation visit, you must show proof of enrollment in that program, and you attend all 26 classes and provide a certificate of completion. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Judge, may I make a brief inquiry? We're trying to find out if we have a Spanish interpreter coming on board. 3, who's actually in the courtroom, but we would require a Spanish interpreter.
Mr. Haddad, she just responded, so I'm about to send her the information. And she'll be logging on shortly.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, courtroom 2, let's proceed. ACDC is having some technical difficulties, so.
Oh, no, he's gonna give you that one, please.
I have a couple of private attorneys. Miss Manal Caruso is on the Zoom. I think her client is.
Good morning, Judge. Christopher Mathney, he's position number 24.
All right, Christopher Masney. Deputy, do we have a status on Christopher Masney? 24.
Your Honor, the roving officer will be up there shortly.
Okay, where is he going to come in from? You know?
We'll be bringing him to the courtroom.
All right. Ms. Caruso, do you need to speak with him?
I don't, Judge, and this will just be, we would like to be heard on bond. This will not be a plea today. This will be a bond consideration. And Miss Falk, I emailed you again this morning. I'm not sure if you saw it, with a letter regarding his acceptance into an inpatient treatment.
I did not, but let me double check. What?
Shelley.Falk at FultonCountyGA.gov.
Yep, that is correct, but I'm not seeing an email from you. Was it under your name?
Manel at ShahimiLaw.com.
Okay.
It was sent this morning at 8:36 a.m. I previously sent it as well.
Yeah, I'm looking. I received an email at 8:29 and 8:38. So
okay. Well,
how about this? If you can put your email in the chat, I will send you an email and just respond back to the email I send you.
That's perfect.
Okay, great.
Okay, I sent that right.
All right, Ms. Caruso, please hold until Mr. Masney is able to come into the courtroom.
Thank you.
Who do we have right now? No one? Anyone in courtroom 2 that I can address? All right.
Judge, the only 2 people we have in courtroom 2, one is Dennis Murphy's client, Judge. That's physician Mr. Brown. That is physician number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the other individual is the Spanish speaking defendant.
Did you say 4? I've got that as your client. 4 to 7.
No, Judge, position number 5 is my client. Position number 4, Dennis Murphy.
I see. Okay. Well, they're both Mr. Brown, so I think that was where the mistake was. Okay.
That's correct.
5 to 7 and 4 is Mr. Murphy. Okay. Got it. Any announcements that you want to tell me about on this calendar? So I've got Otis Alexander, who represents him.
That is should be Ms. McLeod or a conflict case.
Oh,
And Mr. Alexander was released on October 2nd, Your Honor.
All
He's
right.
no longer in custody.
all right,
That's right.
that's for the notice for trial. Okay, and let's see now. Position 9 to 10, Shaman Coffee.
That's gonna be a waiver of arraignment, Judge, plead not guilty.
All right. Then I've got position 13. What about Uncle-Aid? Is that the one where you're just having a bond hearing?
Judge, that's the one that I need to talk to him. I think it's gonna be a plea. Ms. Falk, do you mind letting me know the restitution, just if you can tell me right now what it
Oh,
is?
1900. I did put it in the chat, but I'm sure it got lost under the all the information. It is $1,900, $1,200 for the MacBook and $700 for the camera.
And that the victim would be the pawn shop?
Desmond Rogers.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right, thank you. And Judge, we're waiting for me to speak to him to let him know about the restitution.
All right, then position 13, Malik Gray is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. That's the only thing with Malik Gray?
That is correct, Judge.
All right. Campus reset. You have position 20, Haley Foreman.
That's gonna be a waiver and a plea not guilty.
Powers out.
All right, sir. And then position 22, Kenia Lloyd has been released, and that's going to be further notice. All right, position 24, we're waiting Mr. Masney. Position 27, Victoria.
That's private attorney, Judge.
I know, it's Deputy, are we planning to have Mr. Victoria, Attorney Philip Kim, this today?
Your Honor, I believe I did receive an email on that case. It says Nick Kasatkin will be appearing on Mr. Kim's behalf, but is running late to court. It also states he's finishing up in Gwinnett County State Court and will log on to Zoom when he finishes.
Okay, we'll hold. Thank you. And that person is probably at ACDC also. So I'm just trading on Shivers. Mr. White, that's going to be a reset to October 15th.
That is correct. Actually, 10/15 is fine, Judge. Whatever is best for.
Well, I'm going off the PD's announcements list, so.
Yes, Shivers 10/13. We're fine.
Okay, so reset to October 15th. That's position 29. Okay, position 40. Anson Smith. Mr. Haddad or Mr. White, any indication whether he plans to?
He's proceeding pro se, Judge. He's refused to talk to us.
Okay.
Court 2.
And Deontay Stevens still needs to talk to Mr. White. Damon Swain, request by state to combine cases, do not bring. Position 42, is that still true?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 4 cases that the defendant has that were not added to the calendar. And so we are asking for a 1-week reset so we can provide a global recommendation as to all cases.
All right, reset to October 15th. Mr. White, any objection?
I don't know, Judge. I was just answering the phone over here, so.
Any objections?
Okay.
For next week?
We
No.
have Ms. here who's ready to provide interpretation translation services for is it Miguel Luis?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, is Miguel Lewis in the courtroom?
He is.
And do you need to speak with him before we proceed?
I do.
All right. Mr. Champion, can you place courtroom 2 and Ms. Chansey? Good morning, Ms. Chansey. Thank you for being here. Courtroom 2 and Ms. Chansey in a breakout, please. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll be in a brief recess. Hopefully, ACDC will be able to chime in with power. So please hold, folks. Oh. Is Cordelia Swanigan on the Zoom and Tajai Wallace. These are motions to set aside a bench warrant, so no? All right, folks, we'll be on hold. Mr. Kasatskin?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry I got delayed at a calendar call in Gwinnett County.
You are not late at all. Your client's at ACDC, would that be correct? Is your client a female?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Victoria, last name begins with an O.
Vasenikova. Vasenikova, Your Honor.
All righty. And you say it much better than I do, so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I believe most of our female inmates are at the Fulton County ACDC location, which recently just in the middle of a Zoom session ran out of power, or power got disconnected. So we are waiting for ACDC to reconnect. So I'm just letting you know we'll be glad to address your case, but we're waiting for that location to get back online.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. That gives me some time to perhaps chat with the state.
Okay, thank you. And
Thank you, Your Honor.
that would be Shelley Falk if you want to reach out to her on the chat.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Medical, who do we have?
Position 2 and 3, Alfred Brolton.
All right. as soon as courtroom 2 comes into session, we will be able to have his attorney also join us. Ms. Champion, could you let the breakout folks know that we are ready to resume with the calendar? Thank you.
It's Ms. Strong, but I'll take care of it.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Good morning, Your Honor. I apologize. I was just talking to Ms. Caruso about her client.
No problem. I'm just trying to get courtroom 2 back. There we go. Thank you. All right, Mr. White.
Well, I'm sorry, Judge, we were muted. It will be a negotiated plea for position 43.
Okay. This is right page. Ms. Chansey, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you translate will be a true and accurate translation with no change?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. We are addressing the case of Miguel Angel Villega Luis.
Estamos dirigiéndonos al caso de Miguel Villega Luis.
His case number is 24 DF 2090Y.
El número de caso es 24 DF 20901.
He's accused of driving under the influence of alcohol, driving without a valid license,
Él tiene un cargo por manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol y manejar sin una licencia válida.
and failure to maintain lane or improper lane change.
Y por no cambiarse de carril de manera apropiada.
And this incident is from June 15th, 2022.
Y este incidente ocurrió el 15 de junio del 2022.
He also has a bench warrant for failure to appear in court in July of 2024.
También tiene una orden de arresto por incomparecencia en julio del 2024.
This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. Mr. Vileda Lewis, please remember you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court about your case, your statements can be used against you.
Esto va a ser un convenio declaratorio. Señor Villeda Luis, usted tiene el derecho de guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you.
Usted tiene el derecho a tener una representación de abogado. Si no puede contratar uno, se le puede asignar uno a través del tribunal.
Currently, your attorney is Mr. Tom White.
Y aparentemente su abogado hoy es el señor Tom White.
May I place you under oath for purposes of the plea?
Por favor, ¿puedo juramentarlo para el propósito de su declaración y levantar su mano derecha?
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
¿Usted jura o afirma que la declaración que dará será la verdad a su mejor saber y entender?
Yes.
I do.
Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Mr. Vileda Luis?
¿Cuál es la recomendación para el señor Villeda Luis?
Yes, Your Honor. On the count 1 DUI, the recommendation is 12 months probation.
Por el cargo 1 de manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol es 12 meses bajo probatoria.
Serve 60 days, credit for time served 11 days.
Servir 60 días, crédito por tiempo servido 11 días.
The balance of probation is probated with a $1,000 fine.
Lo que resta de la sentencia debe cumplirla bajo probatoria con una multa de $1,000.
240 hours of community service, ADET.
240 horas de trabajo comunitario, someterse a una evaluación de drogas y tratamiento si es requerido.
2 victim impact panels and DUI risk reduction.
2 sesiones de impacto a la víctima y también registrarse en un programa de reducción de riesgo por manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol.
On count 2, driving without a valid license, it is 12 months served 60 days, credit for time served 11 days.
Por el cargo 2, manejar sin una licencia válida son 12 meses, a servir 60 días, crédito por tiempo servido 11 días.
The balance is probated with a $1,500 fine and license suspended for 1 year.
Y el resto será cumplido bajo libertad probatoria con una multa de $1,500 y una suspensión de licencia de un periodo de 1 año.
On count 3, failure to maintain lane, it is a time served plea.
Y por el tercer cargo, incumplimiento de cambio de carril, es tiempo servido.
We do ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
Por favor, pedimos si se acuerda la jurisdicción, los hechos y la identificación para esta declaración.
And that's all for the state.
Y eso es todo de parte de la Fiscalía.
Mr. White, do you so stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Señor White, usted estipula acuerdo con la jurisdicción, los hechos y la identificación.
We do stipulate, Your Honor, we would ask
Sí.
the 6 months of probation fees based on the heavy amount of fines that he's going to be paying, community service, the DI school, all of this cost money. And while he does have some work, it's not what it used to be because he had a fall and has some serious injuries that he also has to look after. So we would ask that you waive 6 months of fees.
Su señoría, queremos pedirle que se retiren 6 meses de tarifas de probatoria debido a todos los costos que mi cliente va a incurrir al tener que cumplir con todas estas condiciones, ya que él ha hecho parte del trabajo, pero tuvo un accidente serio de caída, lo que le ha impedido continuar.
I will waive 6 months of probation fees, but he'll need to complete all these programs in a scheduled timeline.
Yo voy a sacarle las tarifas por 6 meses, pero él tendrá que completar todas estas condiciones a la fecha estipulada.
Mr. Lewis, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
Señor, ¿ha usted consumido alguna droga o alcohol recientemente? No.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
¿Ha usted entendido lo que está sucediendo en este subcaso?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
¿Está satisfecho con los servicios de su abogado?
Sí, estoy satisfecho.
Yes, I am.
And has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty to these charges, that you won't be eligible to apply for or obtain a proper driver's license for 12 months?
Usted se le ha explicado que si se declara culpable ante estos cargos, usted no tendrá derecho a solicitar una licencia de conducir durante 12 meses.
Entiendo.
I understand.
And you also won't get a chance to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury.
Y tampoco tendrá la oportunidad de llevar su caso a juicio ante un juez o jurado, ¿entiende?
Entiendo.
I understand.
You will not get a chance to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that's brought before you, present your defenses and arguments, and have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y tampoco tendrá la oportunidad de que en un juicio usted pueda tarear a quienes lo acusan, presentar evidencia que se le enfrente suyo, tampoco poder, tendrá que entender que el fiscal va a tener que comprobar su culpabilidad más allá de toda duda razonable.
Are you prepared to give up these rights?
¿Usted está preparado para renunciar, no utilizar estos derechos?
Estoy
Yes.
preparado.
¿Perdón?
Sí, renunciar los derechos.
Yes, I understand.
How do you plead to driving under the influence of alcohol, driving? Go ahead.
¿Cómo se declara ante el cargo de manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol?
Vale.
Guilty.
And how do you plead to driving without a valid license and failure to maintain lanes?
¿Y cómo se declara por manejar sin una licencia válida y por incumplimiento en el cambio de carril?
Culpable.
Guilty.
All right. Mr. White, I'm assuming he doesn't have any holds.
Entiendo que no, estoy asumiendo que él no tiene ninguna detención, señor White.
Your Honor, he actually does have an immigration hold at this point, so.
En este momento él tiene una detención de inmigración, su señoría.
All right, Mr. Lewis, unfortunately, you won't be released right away until the immigration services comes and either lift the hold or they come and pick you up for removal purposes or whatever they plan to do.
Señor Luis, usted no podrá ser puesto en libertad hasta que el Departamento de Inmigración y sus servicios hagan una de las dos cosas, saquen su detención o vengan a recogerlos y decidan qué hacer con su caso.
Once you have resolved that immigration hold, and if you're still in Georgia,
Si una vez que usted resuelva esa parte de su caso y si permanece en Georgia,
let me correct that. If you're still in the United States,
si usted permanece, déjeme corregir, si usted permanece en los Estados Unidos,
you'll be required to immediately report to the Fulton County Probation Office on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday.
y se le requiere que usted se presente inmediatamente ante la oficina de registro probatorio un lunes, martes o jueves.
You are to report to probation, and while on probation, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 11 days. So he has quite a few more days to serve at the jail.
Yes.
Bueno, usted tiene 12 meses a servir 60 días, crédito por tiempo servido 11 días, o sea que le queda tiempo a usted todavía para cumplir en la cárcel.
Actually, Mr. Lewis, you have about 17 more days to serve at the Fulton County Jail before you, 17, or maybe 19 more days to serve at the Fulton County Jail before you are eligible for probation.
Bueno, señor Luis, usted tiene 19 días más para cumplir en la cárcel del condado de Fulton antes de empezar su probatoria.
And then once you start probation, you pay $1,000 fine, do 240 hours of community service.
Una vez que usted empiece su probatoria, tiene que pagar una multa de $1,000 y cumplir con 240 horas de servicio a la comunidad.
And in that particular case, you will pay $100 every month minimum.
En ese caso, en ese momento usted pagará $100 por mes mínimo.
And you must do at least 25 hours of community service every month.
Y tendrá que cumplir un mínimo de 25 horas de trabajo a favor de la comunidad por mes.
You're to enroll and complete an alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment within 15 days of being released.
Tiene que registrarse y completar una evaluación de drogas y alcohol y tratamiento si es recomendado cuando se lo ponga en libertad.
And submit yourself to any treatment that's required.
Y debe usted someterse a cualquier tratamiento requerido.
You're to attend and complete 2 victim impact panels, and that must be done within 4 months of your probation.
En 4 meses usted tiene que atender y completar el programa del panel de impacto a la víctima. Son 2 sesiones.
And complete a DUI risk reduction program within 4 months of being on probation.
Y también completar el programa de reducción de riesgo para manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol, y tanto la condición anterior y esta deben completarse 4 meses antes de terminar su probatoria.
On count 2, driving without a valid license is 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 11 days, balance probated.
Y por el segundo cargo, manejar sin licencia, son 12 meses de probatoria, servir 60 días en la cárcel, crédito por tiempo servido y 11 días.
And that's an additional $1,500 fine.
Y hay una multa adicional de $1,500.
And to pay that fine, you have to make a minimum payment of $50 per month.
Para pagar esa fianza, tiene que hacer un pago mínimo de $50 al mes.
And you're not eligible to apply for a new license or be eligible for reinstatement for 12 months.
Y usted no podrá solicitar una licencia durante un periodo de 12 meses.
And this particular ineligibility begins from the day you start probation.
Y este periodo empieza el primer día que usted comience su libertad probatoria.
For failure to maintain lane, your sentence is time served to serve 22 days, credit for time served 11 days.
Por incumplimiento en el cambio de carril son 12 meses de probatoria, 22 días, tiempo servido 11 días.
Right? And your bench warrant will be dismissed.
Y se retira el cargo con orden de arresto.
That concludes this case.
Y esto concluye con su caso.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Gracias, su señoría.
Thank you, Ms. Chancy. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Do we need a staff interpreter for any other cases, Mr. White or Ms.?
They're gonna set.
Not that I'm aware of, Judge.
All right. Medical, who do we have, please?
Position 1, 2, and 3.
All right. Position 2 and 3. Mr. Haddad, we have Alfred Broughton, excuse me. Is this going to be a negotiated plea?
It is, Judge.
All right. This is State versus Alfred Broughton. Mr. Broughton, you have two open cases with us this morning. 23 CR 5540C, in which you are accused of criminal trespass and possession and use of a drug-related object from September 14th, 2023. You have a second case, 24 CR 6700C, in which you've been charged with theft by taking and criminal trespass from September 24, 2024. In these two cases, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, Mr. Jawan Haddad is going to be representing you. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what is the recommendation for both these cases?
Yes, Your Honor. On position 2, the criminal trespass is going to be 12 months probation concurrent with count 2. Count 2, possession and use of drug-related objects, 12 months served 4 days, credit for time served 2 days, from the 15th to the 16th of September 2023. Balance probated, stay away from all Georgia Tech campus and ADET. That's going to run concurrent with position 3. Position 3, the theft by taking, is 12 months served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. That's from September 24th, 2024 until today. Balance probated, no further contact with Samuel Ward. Stay away from 275 10th Street Northeast in Atlanta. And an anti-theft course. We did have an opportunity to speak with Samuel Ward, and he is agreeing that no restitution is needed. So that will be waived as part of this plea. And count 2 is 12 months concurrent with count 1. As I stated, we did speak with Samuel Ward. He agrees with the plea offer, stated no restitution is needed. He had initially requested restitution in the amount of $180. And we do ask the defendant to stipulate to continue factual basis and identification for the purposes of the plea. Mr. Ward will not be on Zoom, but we would like to sound for him. Samuel Ward.
Your Honor, we stipulate.
All right, thank you. Mr. Broughton, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No. No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your two cases?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney services?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering a guilty plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been explained to you that if you enter this guilty plea, that you won't get a trial in both of your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
You won't face a judge and a jury. You won't be able to face your accuser. You won't be able to challenge the evidence that we brought in front of you. You won't be able to present your defenses and arguments with the help of your attorney. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you prepared to waive your right to have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass and possession and use of a drug-related object from September 14th, 2023?
Guilty, ma'am.
How do you plead to theft by taking and criminal trespass from September 24th, 2024?
Guilty, ma'am.
For position number 2 on the criminal trespass is 12 months probation to be concurrent with count 2. Count 2, possession and use of drug-related objects, is 12 months to serve 4 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance probated. You'll report to probation on Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. And while you're on probation, you have to stay away from all Georgia Tech property. For position number 3, on count 1, theft by taking, your sentence is going to be 12 months to be served, to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated. So you'll be serving the same probation for both cases.
Yes, ma'am.
While you're on probation, you have to have no contact with Samuel Ward, and you have to stay away from the location 275 10th Street in downtown Atlanta. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Within 45 days of starting probation, you are to enroll in an anti-theft class, and you're to complete that class. Criminal trespass is on count 2. The sentence is going to be 12 months concurrent with count 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Courtroom 2, do you have any idea what's going on with ACDC?
No updates, Judge, as far as ACDC. The date, power apparently still out. There's a couple folks in the courtroom, Judge, and we're ready on those whenever the court.
Go ahead. Who's next?
Your Honor, position number Judge, 11 and 12. The Alvarez Ancalade.
Okay.
Judge, we're ready for a plea. Ms. Falk communicated the recommendation, and we're proceeding with the plea, negotiated plea, Judge.
All right. This is Dalvarez Ancalade, 23 CR 5792D, accused of theft by receiving stolen property from December 10th of 2022. His second case is a bench warrant, 24 FTA 1469, from August of 2024. Mr. Ancalade, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. May I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
That's well.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what's your recommendation for position 11?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on that case is on theft by receiving stolen property, 12 months served 34 days, credit for time served 17 days. That's from September 26th to September 28th of 2023, April 5th to April 6th of 2024, and September 27th to 2024 to today. Balance probated, no further contact with Demond Rogers. Stay away from 112 Portland Street Northeast in Atlanta. Anti-theft course and 40 hours of community service. We are also requesting restitution in the amount of $1,900 to Demond Rogers. We did speak with Mr. Rogers. He will not be on the Zoom today, but he does agree with the plea offer. That's all for the state. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea. That's all. And we are agreeing to null pros the bench warrant.
Mr. Haddad, do you so stipulate?
Okay. We stipulate.
All right. Mr. Ancalade, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
And after speaking with your attorney, have you decided to enter a plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You understand that in order for me to accept the plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial before a judge or a jury. You will not get the chance to confront your accuser, be able to challenge the evidence presented against you, present any defenses and arguments if you choose to do so, and have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of theft by receiving stolen property? Sorry?
Yes.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 34 days, credit for time served 17 days. If you have no other holds, then you'll be released and you must report to probation this Thursday, October 10th before 3 p.m. Probation is located at 132 Mitchell Street.
2 days.
Does he have any holds?
Judge, he's posting bond. He's got a felony charge that he's posting bond, Judge. Was waiting to dispose of this case, Judge, before posting bond.
And when will that happen?
It's supposed to be today, Judge, so I've talked to him about reporting Thursday to probation, assuming, of course, he's gonna bond out today, which he indicated he is.
Okay, well, out of abundance of caution, I'll have him report on Monday. They should be.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Is that a public holiday, by the way, Ms. Falk? Do you know?
It is not a county holiday. But I don't know how that applies to probation, but it is not considered a county holiday on the county calendar.
Probation, are you open on Monday? Ms. Thomas? All right, just out of abundance of caution, Mr. Haddad, your client will report on Monday before 3 p.m. And while he's on probation, he's to complete an anti-theft class within 45 days and complete 40 hours of community service with doing a minimum of 5 hours per month and 5 hours every month thereafter. No contact with Demond Rogers and stay away from 112 Cortlandt Street in Northeast Atlanta. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, can you please go back to Mr. Darius White, position 56? He is in court in courtroom 2A, and we already accepted the plea and filled out the paperwork. There is no new case that the state has. It's in the city of Atlanta, so we were wondering if you would prefer that he do the plea to in courtroom 2A with Judge Edline, or if we should get him out on Zoom, because he cannot do a global resolution to the new place. The state does not have it yet.
The case was bound over, is my understanding. So the state does have it. And the public defender's office did agree to continue the case to the 10th so we could do the global resolution.
But Mr. Hans did not tell me that it was bound over because Mr. White has not appeared in court on it, and we already accepted the offer. We filled out the paperwork.
I will let the court determine how they want to address this. I know that Your Honor is not usually inclined to take a plea where there is additional cases, so.
Especially DUI. Is your client got an open DUI case while he's addressing this one?
It's not accused. It is out of city of Atlanta, and I've already filled out a referral form for DUI court, which we would not be able to do if he's on Thursday's calendar.
I don't know what relevance it makes whether it's accused or not. It's an open case. So let me see. So the state is recommending 18 days credit for time served, 9 days. And they're going to merge the DUI. Let's say if this would be per se. And I'm assuming he's in jail because of a bench warrant.
And 2 probation violations, Your Honor.
Which we handled today in his return to probation.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, I can do this today. I'm going to require him to his license will be suspended for 12 months, not 4 months, and he'll be required to have an ignition interlock device.
Would you like Judge Edline to do the plea, or should I see if the deputies can get him out on Zoom right now?
You can ask the deputy. I don't know whether he's in the courtroom, but
can you get Mr. White?
Or I can go back there.
Just mute your screen, Ms. Bronstein, while I just address something else. Okay, thank you. Quorum 2, any luck with anyone else on my calendar?
Judge, yes, I do have one additional announcement. Position number 14, Stephen Horn, Judge.
Yes, sir.
He's present. He indicates that he's represented by Ed Adams, attorney Ed Adams, Judge.
Okay. In this case, simple battery from April 2024?
That's what he says, yes, Judge.
All right, and has he been in touch with Mr. Adams?
Mr. Horn, have you been in touch with Mr. Adams?
I did call Ed Adams and I also sent an email, so.
Okay, so apparently we reached out to Mr. Adams. The deputies have, and we sent an email and a phone call, Judge.
Okay, this is Stephen Horn. The offer is 12 months to serve 90 days, credit for time served 15 days. We'll reset him to October 15.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, position 30, I've now spoken with, we've signed a waiver, not guilty, jail jury.
And that was for which case?
Position 30, Simpson.
Okay. Dalston Simpson is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. So that will be for positions 30 and 31.
And Your Honor, I do have an additional announcement as well.
I'm all ears, Mr. Dodd.
Position 5, 6, and 7, Judge. Mr. Taquan Brown needs to be reset to next week. He apparently is his medical issues, Judge.
Position 5, 6. Ms. Strong, or Ms. Champion, how does next Tuesday look now?
Position number 52 and 53 is going to be a reset, and that is Craig Washington.
Next Tuesday is available, Judge Law.
Okay, position 5, 6, and 7 are reset to 10:15. Position Craig Washington, which is
52 and 53. Judge.
yeah, thank you. Is reset to 10:15. And medical, the reason, is this a medical reason?
Well, he's on the MH floor, plus he refused.
Okay. Got it. Well, hopefully we'll agree next week. All right, and any other announcements, Mr. Haddad?
No, Judge, not from courtroom 2. I think medical is my client, although I'm not 100% sure.
And Your Honor, if I could just have 5 minutes, I need to address something really quickly with another attorney. It's on our case on the calendar.
Okay. Go ahead, take the 5 minutes. Ms. Bronstein, have you spoken to your client about the interlock and all that?
We just got him out, so there's also going to be ignition interlock and license suspension for 12 months. Yes, we're going to handle it today. Okay, and then I'm going to give the referral form to the UAC court. Okay. Yes, he is ready to go forward and understands that.
All right, we're going to wait on Ms. Falk because she needs to step away for a few moments. Let me see. Any luck with Mr. Masney, Mr. Chas? I can't, oh, we're still waiting on Mr. Chasney too. Okay.
I'm sorry, that was in reference to Mr. Murphy, Judge. That was my response to about Mr. Murphy.
I see. Okay. All right, while we're waiting for Ms. Falk, Mr. Haddad or Mr. White, were y'all planning to represent either Cordelia Swanigan or Tajai Wallace, who are on our bench warrant calendars?
Yes, Judge, I would be,
Well, according to my case review of those matters, the bench warrants have been, the bond forfeitures have been set aside. So I just need hi, Judge Adline, how are you? Sorry.
you just need,
Hey, Judge Law.
Good morning, Judge Adline.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Yes, ma'am.
We're going to take the White plea. He's here in my courtroom in person.
Okay.
He's a cognate case because he's got another pending DUI. So I'll just handle that. I can take that off your calendar for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Falk, Miss Bronstein, is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
Yes, Your Honor. That was the state's announcement, was that they are moving forward in Judge Edline's courtroom. I appreciate Judge Edline taking the time to come online.
After that, so. All right. All right. Okay, then in that case, we are moving on to ACDCs come on, and we have medical. So I'd like to resume with Miss Watson. So if Miss Watson can be in the chair, we will hold on Mr. Murphy. Miss Watson, you're on deck. Just give me a minute. Medical, who do we have?
Number 8.
Okay. And Ms. Falk, what I was saying about the 2 bench warrant cases that I have on the calendar, my review of the cases indicate that the division judges have set aside the bond forfeiture. So I'm going to have either Mr. White or Mr. Haddad send me a proposed order canceling the bench warrants, if any.
And that's on the domestic violence bench warrant calendar?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
I'll
So
take care of that, Your Honor.
thank you, Mr. White. Medical, I'm getting old, so you need to remind me again that position number. I'm so sorry. I get distracted by these separate announcements.
Number 8.
Thank you. And I've already got a circle too. All right. Jeffrey Bynes. Mr. Bynes, good morning. My name is Judge Lal, and your case number is 24 CR 6632B. And you're accused of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, simple battery, and criminal trespass from September 19th, 2024. And Mr. Bynes, you're going to be represented by Mr. Haddad. Do you see your attorney, Mr. Haddad, in courtroom 2?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Right. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Haddad. May I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Mr. Bynes?
The state's recommendation for Mr. Bynes is 12 months on the willful obstruction is 12 months concurrent with count 2, $300 fine, 40 hours of community service. On count 2, 12 months served 60 days. Credit for time served 16 days from September 19th, 2024 until today. Balance probated, BHET. Stay away from the Greyhound bus station at 232 Forsyth Street, Southwest in Atlanta. No further violent contact with Timothy Watson and no firearms. Count 3 is 12 months probation concurrent with count 1. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Watson. He stated he will not be on the Zoom, but does agree with this plea offer. We would ask that the defense stipulates a venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea, and would like to sound for Mr. Timothy Watson.
Mr. Haddad?
Your Honor, we stipulate for purposes of the plea, I would just ask the court to consider waiving the first 2 months of probation fees in light of the fact that he has to get a BHET and he has a fine, Judge.
Okay, I'll waive the 2 months. Does he have any holds?
He does not, Judge, but the plea obviously contemplates that he spends another 14 days in custody, just so the court is aware.
All right, Mr. Bynes, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, I am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, I am.
Has it been explained to you that if you enter this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial, to confront your accuser, to challenge the evidence that would be brought before you during the course of the trial, to have your attorney help you to present your defenses and arguments, and have the prosecutor prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt? Are you prepared to give up these rights?
I do.
How do you plead to one count of willful obstruction of an officer, simple battery, and criminal trespass?
Guilty.
Well, sentence is as follows. On the obstruction charge, it is 12 months, and that is going to be concurrent with count 2, the simple battery charge. And you'll have to pay a $300 fine. You need to make a minimum payment of $30 per month and $30 every month thereafter. You're also to complete 40 hours of community service, and you're to complete a minimum of 5 hours per month and 5 hours every month thereafter. With regard to simple battery charge, your sentence is 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 16 days, which means that you have additional time to serve at the jail. Once you've completed the additional time, you shall report to probation on the first available Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. And probation is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. In addition to paying your fine and doing the community service, you will also enroll in a BH evaluation and submit yourself to any treatment that's required. You are to enroll in that evaluation within 45 days of being released. You have to stay away from the Greyhound bus station at 232 Forsyth Street, have no contact with Timothy Watson, and you're not allowed to own a firearm. For criminal trespass, again, 12 months concurrent with count 1, and make sure you do not return to that Greyhound bus station. Thank you. Oh, and probation fees are waived for up to 60 days.
Thank you, Judge.
I need to move on to Ms. Watson. We were in the middle of her.
And Your Honor, on Ms.
Judge,
Watson.
this is position 54 and 55, Watson, and I don't know if he was aware that our power did go off.
We did, we were
Okay,
waiting. Just
thank
waiting.
you.
All right.
Judge, Ms. Watson froze when the court was asking how does she plead to count 3. That's where we stopped.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but Ms. Watson, I just want to remind you that we have already gone through a lot of the information for a plea hearing. And is there anything you'd like me to repeat?
No.
All right. So let me ask you then, on the driving under the influence of alcohol, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Right? And I believe I've already told you it's 12 months to serve 90 days, credit for time served. Once you're on probation, you need to do an alcohol and drug evaluation, a risk reduction program, 240 hours of community service, and pay a $600 fine, and your license will be suspended for up to 12 months. How do you plead to one count of driving while license suspended?
Guilty.
That's going to be 12 months to serve on probation consecutive to count 1. And if you get your license reinstated the second year of probation, you are to ensure that your vehicle's equipped with an interlock device at your expense. And no driving until your license is reinstated, you have valid insurance and proper registration. On the failure to use the turn signal, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And that's going to be a $265 fine. Payable while you're on probation. It must be paid off. All fines must be paid off. And that's going to be concurrent to count 1. And that must be paid off within the first 12 months. So you'll be on probation for up to 2 years. And you're not eligible to drive for the next 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, the event form will be null crossed. Francois, do you have Miss Victoria?
Say the name again, Judge?
Victoria?
Yes, that's position 27. We're waiting for her attorney to sign on. Come on, Miss.
I'm present.
All right,
Okay. Is that your turn?
All right. I'm sorry, Miss Victoria. I'm going to only pronounce your first name. I don't want to mispronounce your last name. But your attorney who is presently here is Mr. Nick Kasatskin. He is in behalf of Mr. Philip Kim. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes.
All right. Do you speak and understand English?
Yes.
All right. Your case is 24 CR 6484B, in which you're accused of 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence. You've been advised of your right to remain silent. As I indicated, your attorney is Mr. Nick Kasatskin. Mr. Kasatskin, how would you like to proceed today?
Ms. Folk, did your office receive any communication from the victim advocate, and did that make any change in your offer by any chance?
Let me just double check briefly.
Sure.
The last contact that we had was with the father, Mr. Bikovsky.
Kopowski, yes.
Kowalski, who stated that he did not want any contact and wants her to stay away from the residence. There is also a previous case, 14 SC 131320, where the defendant hit his wife in the head with a bottle and she had to spend time in the hospital for her injuries. And that was according to our victim. So that was our last communication. Our recommendation has not changed.
Okay, in that case, we'll plead not guilty, ask it to bind it over for state court for a trial, and we'll go from there. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kasatskin, would you like to file a waiver arraignment, or would you like me to arraign your client?
I will file a waiver, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Miss Victoria, your attorney is going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, and your case is going to be reset for trial with the state court. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kasatskin, you can email your waiver to Miss April Champion, and it's april.champion@fultoncountyga.gov.
Fulton County, and is county fully spelled out, Your Honor?
It's fultoncountyga.gov, G-O-V.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will do that today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Medical, who do we have?
Number 28, Rice, and he need to talk to Mr. White.
All right. I need to go to ACDC. Who do we have right now? Just give me a moment, medical.
Judge, you can take care of medical and then we can go after them.
They need to do a breakout with PD White. So
Okay. This is going to be position 62, Zellers.
And that is with Mr. Haddad. All right, let me do that first. Medical, I'll be right with you. Position 62 and 63 is Miss Shajon Zellers, Z-E-L-L-A-R-S. Her case is 24 CR 003177D, accused of theft by shoplifting on August 4th, 2022. She has a warrant. 24 FTA 1467 from August 14, 2024. Ms. Zellers, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your appointed counsel is Mr. Haddad. Do you see Mr. Haddad at the
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Haddad, this is going to be a negotiated plea.
It is, Judge.
Ms. Zellers, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation on the one count of theft by shoplifting is 12 months served, 30 days. Credit for time served 14 days from September 25th, 2024 until today. Balance probated, stay away from all Walmart stores, anti-theft course, and 40 hours of community service. The state has agreed to null pros position 63, the FTA. That's all for the state. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
We stipulate.
All right. Ms. Zeller, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, I am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to take the plea, you will not get a chance to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. No chance to confront your accuser, to challenge the evidence brought before you, present your defenses and arguments, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of theft by shoplifting?
Guilty.
All right, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 14 days. You have one more day to serve at the Fulton County Jail. Once you're released, you're to report to probation on Monday, and that's going to be October 14th at before 3 p.m. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the report time is going to be before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you are to stay away from not just the Walmart store in question, but all Walmart stores. You're not allowed to enter a single one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
On this entire planet.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And you are to enroll and complete an anti-theft class, and you are to enroll in that class within 45 days of being released. And you're to do 40 hours of voluntary community service with a minimum of 5 hours per month and 5 hours every month thereafter until all 40 hours are completed. You can do it at any nonprofit agency, but not a church and not a school.
Yeah.
All right. Your bench warrant will be dismissed. We are done. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Ed Adams, good morning, sir. Mr. I think we had reset his case.
Which position, Your Honor?
Judge, Mr. Horn is in the courtroom. They brought him back. He's in courtroom too. And Mr. Adams, you're on mute.
Mr. White needs to speak to medical. Mr. White?
I sure do, Judge.
All right. Mr. Okay, I'm going to put you in a breakout very shortly with medical. Mr. Adams, morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your client, Stephen Horn, is in courtroom 2. Do you need to speak with him? Or do you want to address, or do you want to speak to him at your leisure, and we can address his case next Tuesday?
Right. What do you want?
Whatever preference is to court.
Well, I'm looking at the state's offer right now, and it would require, if he accepted the offer, he would need to do additional jail time. So I think it's best if you take time to speak with him between now and next Tuesday to see how he would like to proceed.
That'll be fine, Your Honor. Okay.
All right. So for Stephen Horn, I'm going to reset his case to next Tuesday at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Is that a conflict for you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Good to see you. And we'll let Mr. Horn know it's next Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Same Zoom link?
No, you probably get a new Zoom link.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay.
Medical needs to be in a breakout with Mr. White at courtroom 2.
Your Honor, if I can make it medical, is there no way that can you call the courtroom, or does it have to be a breakout?
Your Honor, we have Dennis.
I don't have phone access where I am.
Oh, okay.
We have Dennis Murphy's client right here. If you could just.
Where?
In courtroom 2.
In courtroom 2? All right. Okay, Mr. White, let me address those cases first since the attorneys are available. Mr. Murphy, are you available? Dennis Murphy? All right, let's do the breakout. Mr. Murphy is not responding, so. And Tajai Wallace?
Yes, I'm right here.
You're right. He's one of the DV bench warrant.
Mr. Wallace, your bench warrant has been set aside, but I need you to come down to the clerk's office at the State Court of Fulton County and confirm your mailing address, because if you're having problems with the mail, I'm not sure I can help you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next time you might end up being in jail if you don't show up.
Yes, ma'am. I actually was down there last week on Wednesday. I actually gave them my address. This is my second time giving them my address. I'm giving it to them very clear. I'm giving them my apartment number.
We are not the post office. We are not the United States Postal Service. We use the USPS. So if you give us the right address and there is a problem with delivery to your address, you deal with the United States Postal Service, not with the State Court of Fulton County. So if there is a repeated incident and you don't show up in court, the next time around, you'll be talking to me from the Fulton County Rice Street Jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
Judge Law, is it okay if he puts his address in a chat to Ms. Strong so I can confirm if the address is correct? I just didn't know if you wanted to say it.
Mr. Wallace, do you know how to use chat?
What's that?
Okay, that answers that question. All right.
Maybe he just misunderstood the question, Judge. I mean,
You understand?
I didn't hear. You said chat?
Do you know how to use the chat feature on Zoom? Chat, CH.
Oh, yes. I
All right.
can use that.
Put your correct and full address and direct it to Miss Casey Strong. And her participant name is FC State Court Host / Casey Strong.
Okay, I see it.
All right. You can go ahead and mute your screen and we'll take care.
Okay, hold on one moment.
And Ms. Strong, while he's doing that, put courtroom 2 and medical in a breakout real fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Before Mr. Murphy shows up. All right, folks, we'll be in a brief recess until we get some other case to address. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hello?
I received it.
Okay.
Mr. Wallace, check the chat.
Okay.
after this.
He's on. Yeah.
All right, Mr. White, how would we like to proceed with your client?
We're gonna enter that guilty plea, Judge, and I'll send over a waiver.
All right. Medical? This was position 8, yes?
28, Judge.
48, sorry. Sir, your medical, hello?
There, Your Honor. We here.
Oh, okay, I just want to let him know that his attorney, Mr. White's filing a not guilty plea on his behalf, and his case is going to be further notice for trial. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, who else do we have in courtroom 2 that we can address?
Dennis Murphy's case, and the lead.
Mr. Murphy is, I see he is online.
Well, he is, but he's not responding. Mr. Murphy, if you'd like to unmute and start your video. Is Christopher Masney anywhere?
Yes, he's in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Let's address him too until Mr. Murphy. Miss Manal Shahemi, Miss Caruso, I'm so sorry, but are you there?
I'm here, Judge.
Okay.
Hi.
All right, here we have Christopher Masney, and he is position 24. Mr. Masney, my name is Judge Lal, and your attorney, Manal Caruso, is on the Zoom. Your case number is 24 CR 6660J. Hindering a person from making an emergency phone call is the charge from September 21st of this year. Mr. Masney, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Caruso. How are we proceeding, Ms. Caruso?
Judge, I just want to give you maybe a little bit of background on Mr. Masney. He was initially arrested on September 19th and charged with criminal trespass. And I can tell you what case number that is once I pull up my calendar.
You're talking about another open case?
Well,
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, I've got that 16587J.
yes, that's correct, Judge. And then on this case, the 24 CR 0066660J case, but he was arrested 9/19, and at the first appearance calendar, Judge Mincy had issued a signature bond, and the family was on the call. The father, sorry, I have childcare issues right now. Background.
Okay.
The family was on the call, and we had advised the court that we were in the process of looking at putting him into some kind of mental health treatment. He was subsequently released with a signature bond, and it was a no further violent contact with the victim in that case, which was his father, Jeff Masney, who's on the call, who's on the Zoom calendar today. On September 22nd, so shortly thereafter, he was rearrested. Law enforcement, Roswell PD, had been called out to the family home again. They had actually taken him to Emory Johns Creek Hospital on the 10/13. Law enforcement did, and for whatever reason, he was subsequently released from that, and Roswell PD then transported him to the jail. We appeared at first appearance on this new case and with Judge Mincy, and during the pre-hearing conference, let her know that we were in the process of also working on getting him into the treatment, and so that we can address these concerns that we've had. And she did issue a $10,000 bond, as well as the conditions of no further contact with Eileen Masney, who is Mr. Masney's mother, with the understanding, and to quote Judge Mincy, somebody failed with the hospital in releasing him, that there should have been that hold put in place, but nonetheless, here we are, with the understanding that we would try to get him into treatment, and she would entertain a consent or some kind of a new bond once we have our ducks in a row. I have a letter of acceptance from Harmony Oaks Recovery Center that I have provided to the state. Ms. Falk has. In that letter that is acknowledging that he is will be accepted in for mental health treatment. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I've been in close contact with the facility. They will arrange for his transport from the jail. We are just trying to pinpoint the actual name of the individual who will pick him up for the transport. The admissions coordinator is working on that. It's a little complicated because I understand, Fulton County can take a long time to process individuals out. So we're just trying to have names.
Hours? That's not long.
But in
Your
order
Honor.
to transport, we need to have the specific name. So I'm waiting just for that name of that individual, whether it be this evening or tomorrow morning between the hours of 9 to 5. I'm just trying to pinpoint that through Harmony Oaks, but they should have that for me again. They are prepared to do the transport and take him into treatment and get him the help that he needs.
And Ms. Caruso, usually when we do this, we do set a time so that there is a specific release time. So for example, the consent order will say something like he will be released October 9th at 9 a.m. And so that way, so if you could let me know what time the person is intending to pick the defendant up as well, that will also be put in the order. But the state has no objection, Your Honor, to amending to do a full amendment of the bond and do a $10,000 signature bond through the jail instead of a surety bond once we have all of that information and can present it to the court for the court signature.
Is Miss Eileen Masney on the Zoom? No. Is Mr. Masney on the Zoom?
Eileen was on. Let me see. I know Jeff is on. Jeff, are you there?
All right. All right.
I see Jeff's iPhone. I think that's Mr. Masney. Miss Masney's been on. I just sent her a text. She may have stepped.
I see a Jeff's iPhone. Mr. Jeffrey.
There he is.
Oh, he's driving. That's why he needs to pull over really fast, or we'll have to put you out of Zoom. All right. Unmute courtroom 2, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, Masney, your attorney and your family are asking that I release you from the jail. We need to unmute courtroom 2. To release you from the jail, although these are active criminal cases against you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll be released under strict conditions. And if you fail to comply, you'll be back in jail.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw you shaking your head and looking pretty distressed about having to seek treatment.
Yes, Your Honor, I just and going all the way to Tennessee,
if you don't want the treatment, that's entirely fine too.
I would just like to request, I'm more than, I would like to do an outpatient like classes for like anger management or whatever, like if that's possible. I just don't want to go all the way to Chattanooga because I'm currently dealing with some physical like blood clots right now that are being dealt with inside of Georgia, and our healthcare is in Georgia. And I don't want to just prolong the process of my healing. I don't want it to get worse or whatever. And also, I've been dealing with some heartache this whole entire time, like the past 2 weeks. I really miss my family. I miss my mom. I love them to death.
They want you out, but now there is the strict requirements that you enter inpatient treatment. And if you don't, then the only way you're getting out is by paying a $10,000 bond.
Okay. All right, cool. So I can't do an outpatient class?
No.
Okay.
Not based on the alleged conduct from the 2 open cases that you managed to rack in.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very sorry. I didn't know that that interference with the 911 call. I didn't know that was a
That is not the issue. That's not. I don't want you to speak about the case. I'm just
okay. All right. Sorry.
Just trying to explain to you that I don't have a problem keeping you in jail on a $10,000 bond. If your family makes bond, then that's up to you and your family. But if I'm about to issue a release bond order where you don't have to pay anything, I'm going to have my own conditions. And if you get arrested one more time, please remember this. If you don't remember anything else, you will remain in Fulton County Jail until you go to trial.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, which can be several months. Remember that. All right, Mr. Masney, are you stop driving now?
I am, Your Honor. Sorry about that.
The video. Mr. Masney, your attorney is indicated, or Miss I don't know, they're both not turning on the video. Okay, anyway, anything else, Ms. Caruso?
Judge, the only other things that we would ask regarding the bond is, currently there's a no further.
No, hang on. Mr. Mas, is he driving?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Yes,
I just
he's here.
was able to pull over.
Okay. Mr. Masney, do you understand the circumstances under which your son will be released?
I do.
I'm going to require him to be equipped with an ankle monitor. That's the additional condition I'm going to add. Monitoring fees will be paid for by the defendant and or his family. And the duration of the ankle monitor will be for up to 6 months.
Okay.
All right, so Ms. Caruso, if you and Ms. Falk pinpoint all those details, I'll sign it with the addition of the ankle monitor and that he's to be admitted to this treatment facility as an inpatient and continue with a treatment in accordance with the healthcare provider. And if he leaves the facility without being discharged, a warrant will be issued for his arrest.
Understood, Judge. We would just like to have, currently there's a no further contact with Eileen and Jeff Masney. If that can be amended to a no further violent contact, given that he's 19 and he relies on them and they want to be a part of his treatment while he's in treatment, that I would be impressed.
Ms. Masney, are you comfortable with him having contact with you, non-violent contact, like he can talk to you and speak with you without yelling or screaming or taking your phone away?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am. I will need to have contact with him because of his ongoing treatment.
Well, that I understand, but I'm just saying, are you comfortable with him being in the same room with him? Without
Yes.
anyone else being present?
Yes, I am.
All right. And Mr. Masney, do you have the same?
Yes.
All right. Please understand, folks, we are releasing him in order to seek treatment based on my reading of the warrants. I wasn't the initial judge, but all I'm saying is that if you are helping your son get this treatment, I hope he appreciates it down the road. But he is over 18 years old, and if he gets in trouble with the law, if he voluntarily discharges himself from the facility, that's on his own accord. And if he gets in, and that would trigger the ankle monitor, and he'll be back in jail.
Understood.
All right. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Caruso. And Ms. Falk, do you need this case to be arraigned right now?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's go ahead and just arraign it today, and then once I have all of the information, I'll do the bond modification.
All right, Ms. Caruso, if you want to file a waiver of arraignment, this case will be further notice for trial with a note that not to be scheduled for trial until a further notice about his ongoing treatment.
Okay, great. And Your Honor, do you want me to draft a consent bond order and I will forward it to Ms. Falk on both cases?
Yes, and y'all need to coordinate that so that all the details are there, like time and date, because there's a window, how is he going to be transported, to whom he's going to be discharged, medication, all those little nuts and bolts that need to go in there. And
yes,
Ms. Falk will help you go through those details.
I'll get it to Ms. Falk as soon as I have the complete info, and then we'll present it to the court once we're all in agreement.
Okay.
Okay.
Christopher Masney, did you have a question? Unmute courtroom 2.
So,
Yes.
if I feel safer around my parents, I feel safer around myself, around them. Like, can they transfer me to those facilities?
We'll find out when I see the bond order.
Okay, all right.
Just remember one thing, you'll be equipped with an ankle monitor for the next 6 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you tamper with it, don't give me a reason to bring you back to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, and that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. Caruso, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mr. Murphy, Mr. Murphy,
I got you.
I saw you. Don't run away. There he is. Mr. Murphy, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, I'm playing a cat and mouse game with you, but I finally see you.
Judge, I have 4 other stops.
No problem. Yes, sir. Who's your client, sir?
Dratavius Brown, position 4.
All right. And is that Mr. Brown in courtroom 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr.
Judge,
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Oh, did I lose him again?
Yes, we did.
He's coming back on.
Miss Strong, is it just going in and out, the Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, dear.
Judge.
I hear you.
Okay, Judge, I'm not aware of, is Mr. Brown being held on an additional charge? Yes, Your Honor, he is. He's being currently held on no bond on 24 PI 006912, which is an aggravated assault case. Okay. Judge, I've gotten Ms. Falk's recommendation. This case had already been sent back to the division judge. I kind of that was still my thought process.
Yep, you're absolutely right. He was with Judge Dixon, and looks like it was supposed to be scheduled for a final plea on June 6th. There was a jury trial demand to go back to division.
That's correct.
He got arrested again on a new case. So would you like to just further notice this for trial then? Mr. Murphy? I'm going to further notice this case for trial. And it's
Yes,
going
Judge.
to the division, okay?
Thank you, Judge. Duly noted. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Dratavius Brown, with regards to this particular case, your state court case for reckless conduct from April 12, 2021 is going back to Judge Dixon to be scheduled for trial. If you are still incarcerated, then it will be a jail jury trial. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Haddad and Mr. White, do we have any other cases to address?
Yeah, I don't have any more as far as I can tell, Judge.
And Judge, the only other one that we're unsure as to what's going on is position 41.
Hey, Stevens, have you even seen it?
No, Judge.
41,
I'm not sure if you're aware, we had, the jail elevators were out for about 8 hours yesterday, so we were unable to visit a lot. But I actually got stuck on a floor for a while, but,
You were stuck in the elevator or you were stuck on the floor?
I was stuck on the second floor. They had to come get me. But, our information is he's not in the county. We haven't seen him. Nobody brought him down. You have Smith listed? I mean, Stevens, I'm sorry, Dr. Stevens. And he's not on their list here, so I mean, I guess we can reset him next week.
That'll be
It-
fine.
It's an extra time plea anyway.
He was booked in on September 21st, 2024. There is no indication he's been released. There's indication he's 18 days, but y'all need to find him in the complex. Because according to booking, he hasn't been released from jail. He does
Just reset him for next week, Judge.
reset 10:15. I'm just saying that he's there. Just hang on.
Yeah, Judge, they don't let me into their system, but let's see what we can do.
He's that's all I've got on him. Okay, so there are no other cases. On the DB bench warrant cases, both bench warrants were set aside, and Mr. White is going to submit a proposed order. Position number 1 was released. Position 2 and 3 were pleas. Position 4 Brown is Dratavius Brown, and that's further notice for trial with Judge Dixon. Position 5 Taquan Brown. Position 5, 6, 7 reset to 10:15. Position 8 was a plea. 9 Kofi was a waiver for the notice. Same for 10 waiver for the notice. 11 and 12. 11 was a plea. 12 was null cross. 13 Gray is a waiver of arraignment. 14 is reset to October 15 to address with private counsel Ed Adams. Position 15 Cecily Jones is a waiver of arraignment and further notice. Same for position 16 and 17 and 18. Position 19, Lark Kemp was a plea.
Your Honor, actually Kemp was reset to
10:15.
Thursday.
Yeah, sorry. No, it was reset to this Thursday, correct?
Right.
To address other open cases. You're right.
Yes.
Sorry for that. Position 20, Haley Corman's a waiver and further notice. 21 was a plea. 22, Kania Lloyd was released further notice. Position 23, Gregory Mason was a plea. 24 is going to be reset to, how far out do you want me to reset this? What did I say? 10?
If we could do 10:15, I believe we should have the bond order before then.
All right, pending release on signature bond, okay. 25, McReynolds was a plea. That 26 was null cross. 27 is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 28, William Rice.
That was a waiver of arraignment, Judge.
And reset jail jury.
Yes.
Position 29, Shivers is reset to 10:15. 30, Simpson is a waiver of arraignment and further notice. Same announcement for 31. 32, Dustin Sisk. This was a plea. So position 32 was a plea. 33 was a plea. 34 and 35 were null cross. 36, Anthony Slade was a plea. 37 and 38 were null cross. 39 was a plea. Same person, Mr. Slade. 40, Anson Smith. Has he made an appearance?
No, Judge, they did not bring him. He didn't want to talk to us.
All right, we'll reset him to October 10th, this Thursday. Deontay Stevens is reset October 15th. 42, Swain is reset to October 15th. 43 was a plea. 44 is null cross. 45, Harold Walker. All his cases are reset to 10:15 with the exception of 46 and 48 and 50, which are going to be transferred to Superior Court as felony matters. 51 is going to be reset to 10:15. 52 is reset to 10:15. Individual refused to come to court. Craig Washington is reset to 10:15. 54 is null pros. 55 was a plea. 56, Darius White is reset to October 10th. Oh no, that one was a plea with Judge Edline, sorry.
Is correct.
That was for position 56 and 57, plea with Judge Edline. 58, Ronald Wilkerson. What are we doing?
Judge,
I haven't seen him.
I don't believe he was brought to court at all.
All right, we're gonna reset him to October 10th. Position 60, Yasmin Wright is reset to October 15th for a social worker visit. Position 62 was a plea and 63 was null pros. All right, considering that Mr. White was stranded on one of the floors, the elevators were out, we had power outage out. I don't think we did too bad. So, all right.
Bye-bye, Judge.
All right, folks, you take care. We'll see you later.
PD Haddad, just a heads up. I don't know if you were handling on Thursday, but I did send the recs over.
Yeah, no, I got him. Thank you so
Okay,
much. I-
cool beans.
Yesterday I forwarded them.
Okay,
And-
good deal.
Well,
Thanks.
are you available this afternoon? I realized you never returned your call from last week, so.
I am. I have a presentation I have to give at 1 o'clock, but I'm free after that.
All right, sounds good. I'll just text you